Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am super excited to share with all of you some of my favorite lipstick formulas of the year. So I realized that even though I really love the lipstick formulas from UOMA Beauty, I haven't actually featured them in a dedicated video on my channel. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably seen me use these lipsticks at various points in time, but it didn't really make sense to have a dedicated video since I only had a few of the lipsticks. But recently I picked up a bunch of their lip kits. These are sold on Ulta Beauty and are an amazing deal. You get 2 full-size lipsticks plus a mini lip liner, and this is a $58 value. It retails for $40, but they've been having it on like 50% off. So you can basically get 2 full-size lipsticks plus a mini lip liner for close to $20. And so I picked up 3 of these lip kits, and then I also already had one of the lipsticks from the other lip kits in my collection. And so I figured in today's video I would give you guys swatches of all of these shades, talk about the formulation, and share my review of these products. So if you're interested in learning more about the lip products from UOMA Beauty, then just stick around. So let's start with a quick unboxing. So I have 3 of these lip kits, 2 of which I have already opened and taken the products out of, but I did save one to unbox with you guys. But let me first just run through the lip kits themselves. So first off, we have this one, Send Me Nudes 2. It comes with a chocolate brown lipstick in the High Shine formula. Then it comes with a really light matte lipstick, and then a really dark chocolate lip liner. We also have Send Me Nudes 1, which is more for lighter skin tones, and this has Feminist, which is a high shine lipstick that is more of a lighter nude shade, and then we have Maya, which is sort of a mid-toned nude shade in the matte formula, and then we have Angelou, which is sort of a light nude lip liner. Finally, we have the Kissy Kissy set, and this is the red toned set. And so we have Savage in the High Shine, which is sort of a fuchsia shade. Then we have Sade in the matte formula. So this is a bright red. And then we have this plummy brown Ross for the lip liner. So this is how the packaging of these lip kits looks. On the top, you can see the colors inside. And then when you open this up, first there is this red tissue paper, and then you have the products. Each of these comes in individual boxes. So this is basically if you bought the products individually, how they would look, and this is the mini. So I love the packaging of the Black Magic lipsticks. This is the High Shine formula. It is my favorite formula from UOMA Beauty and one of my favorite formulas of the whole year. They come in this shiny red bullet. And then the lipsticks themselves are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look how aesthetic that is. So even though you have this golden glitter on the outside, when you put it on the lips, there's absolutely no glitter. This is just an overspray. And so if you don't really like metallic lipsticks, don't worry. This formula itself is not metallic. It's just the aesthetic of the bullet. Next, we have the packaging for the matte lipstick. It's pretty cute packaging. It says here that the definition of badass is a badass is simply a badass. And here we have the very chic packaging for the lipstick, and it says a badass does not talk about being a badass. And the bullet for this lipstick has a velvet matte finish and says UOMA on it. Both of these lipsticks are very heavy and luxurious, so you have that nice weight in your hand. It really feels like a high-end or luxury formula. Finally, we have the little lip liners. These are super small and cute. I can't say that I love the packaging of this as much as I love the lipsticks, but hey, it's a lip liner, so what do you expect? It's so funny. The cap basically is larger than half of the lip liner. So this is a really tiny mini, but if you're like me and don't go through lip liner that fast, it's probably fine. So since I haven't tried any of these products in Kissy Kissy yet, I am excited to put these on my face. So let's go ahead and go in with that line. So I'm gonna start out with that Ross lip liner. So I'm gonna just use this to outline my lips today. I'm not really gonna fill it in too much. You can see this is a pretty nice plummy red. This is actually quite a bit creamier than most of the other lip liners. I find some of the lip liners from UOMA are a little bit stiff for my preference. Okay, so that's not very neat, but it's okay. I'm gonna take this off very quickly. So just wanted to show you guys that color. So here we have Ross. I'll also give you guys a swatch here, and we'll do arm swatches while doing the lip swatches. So now I'm gonna go in with Savage, and honestly, it's always kind of sad to use these bullets for the first time because you get rid of all that beautiful golden shimmer on the tip. But let's go in. Wow, look at that. So beautiful. So you can see that when you just apply an initial layer, it's sort of medium opacity, but you can definitely build this up as well for full opacity. But it is really pretty, and I think it goes really well with Ross. Basically, this is more of kind of like a warm reddish shade, but Ross just adds a little bit of that plummy depth to the outer corner. And you can see with one swipe, it's a little bit sheer, but it can definitely be built up. So there we have the first lip combo, and I think this is excellent for the holiday season, just so fun and festive. So with that removed, let's go in now with Sade, which is a very bright red. So you can see that has a lot of pigmentation. So here we have Sade on the lips, and a little bit goes quite a long way with this matte formula. It's that sort of very velvety, creamy matte. And so I find that over the course of the day, even as it sort of wears off, if you just sort of rub your lips together, you can still get a pretty good coat of pigmentation just because it is so pigmented. And what I really love about this formula is that I am someone who usually hates wearing matte lipsticks. It's pretty hard to get me to wear a matte lipstick, especially when I have so many other options in my collection. But this is one of the few formulas that I am willing to wear. I find it's quite similar to the Pat McGrath and the Lisa Eldridge in that it's more of that velvety matte. So it's not going to be transfer resistant, but it's also not going to be drying on the lips. It's basically that kind of formula that's not actively hydrating, but also not actively drying. I would say the only thing I don't like about this formula is you do have to be a little bit careful with placement and to make sure you don't accidentally touch your lips over the course of the day, because if you kind of accidentally brush something against your lips, it will trail some pigment. But I think that's pretty standard for a really pigmented lipstick. So here we have the first 3 lip products for the Kissy Kissy set. Definitely a really great holiday set if you want some red tones. Okay, so I did my best to remove that red lipstick. I think my lips are still looking a little bit red just from all of the application and removal, but hopefully we can see these next shades. So let's go in now to Send Me Nudes Volume 1. This is the lighter nude lipstick line. So we have Angelou over here. And yes, there's already swatches here because I actually did this once, but felt like the red was interfering too much. So I removed that, and now let's try this again. I considered putting concealer on my lips to like block out the red, but I felt like, realistically, you would still sort of see some of your natural lip shade peeking through. So I wanted to show you guys it without any concealer. So this is a pretty light shade overall. I think it's like very similar to the level of depth of my lips, but just more kind of browny. So it definitely just makes everything look a little bit more neutral. Just kind of cancels out a little bit of the red. So there we have Angelou on the outer rim of my lips. And now I'm gonna go in with Feminist, which is swatched here. You can see that this one is relatively sheer. Like honestly, you can use this kind of like a just slightly nude lip balm. So one layer of it's not going to add a lot of pigmentation. You can sort of build it up a little bit though. So personally, I've been really enjoying Feminist on just kind of an everyday basis when I don't really want something that is that different from my natural lip tone, but maybe just has a little bit more of that nude neutral element to it. So I think this will work pretty well on a variety of different lip shades as a result because it doesn't have that much pigmentation to it. Moving right along, let's go in with the matte lipstick in Maya. So this is a little bit deeper, a little bit more mauvey. This is pretty similar to my natural lip shade, just a little bit more purpley. Kind of cools down my lip shade. Like, I don't think you can really tell it's only on my upper lip. Oh yikes, I just realized I broke my bullet. Oh no, so sad. I was pushing it a little bit too hard, but yeah, I think I broke this. Well, I'll just have to be very careful with using this in the future. But here is how Maya looks on the lips. So really nice for kind of an everyday basis if you're looking for more of a mauvey nude shade. For me, I would say that I don't actually go in with the Angelou Lip Liner that much, just because, as you guys saw, it doesn't have that big of an impact on my lips. I usually prefer a slightly deeper lip liner, but I have been really enjoying Feminist, and I think Maya also works really well for me. And so I'm glad that all of these three shades worked, because I was kind of on the fence with this kit. I was a little worried it might be too light for me. For context, oftentimes I find that nudes for lighter skin tones often just give me sort of concealer lips, but I think both of these lipsticks look pretty good against my light medium skin tone. And here is a close-up of that lip kit. Moving right along, let's go into Send Me Nudes Volume 2. This is the nude lipstick line for deeper skin tones, but it actually has the lightest matte shade. So I'm going to do this in a slightly different order. I'm going to first go in with Divine without the lip liner, because I find that Divine is deep enough on its own. This is what Divine looks like in the tube. It's a beautiful darker brown nude shade. So that's like one swipe. You can see with one swipe it's still somewhat sheer, and so you can use this sort of like an elevated lip balm. But again, you can also build this up. So I'm just gonna build this up a little bit for you guys. But there you go, a really perfect your lips but better kind of look. I think this is also just such a beautiful everyday shade, because it's that sort of brown tone, but in a much more approachable way, because your natural lip color still kind of shines through. And there's enough sort of red in this brown as well that it doesn't make you look dead. So I really enjoy this shade as well. So now, since Eartha is so light, I wanted to go in with the lip liner with it. So this is Simone. So this is a pretty deep chocolate lip liner. Let's put this on the outer perimeter of my lips. Okay, I know that's a terrible liner job, but it'll suffice for today. I'm trying not to go too close to the edges because I'm removing at each step, but you can see this is definitely a pretty deep shade on my lips. So now let's go in with Eartha, and I actually haven't tried Eartha yet. So, ooh, wow, that was so creamy. But as you can see, it's pretty light, definitely a lot lighter than the other two matte shades. So let's see how this goes. Ooh, that's pretty. This gives a really nice sort of 90s inspired look. Very like elevated concealer lip. Nice. Wow. Wow, I'm really impressed actually how much I like this look, because I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. This is a very light shade, and I normally don't really go for this sort of very contoured lip effect. But it's pretty cool. I feel like it definitely gives a lot of dimension to my lips, and this would go with a lot of like colorful eye looks as well. So I'm actually really digging this. And one thing I forgot to mention is the scents of these different formulas. So the matte lipstick has that kind of birthday cake flavor to it, but it's very faint. So I really like that, because I generally don't like a lot of scent or perfume in my lip products. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of with the Black Magic lipsticks is that they do have much more scent to them, It's more of kind of like a sweet candy perfume scent, and it does fade after application, but it lingers for a little bit. So the first few minutes after you apply this, you can still taste and smell it. And so that's the one thing I don't love with this formulation. I wish they could do it with a lighter scent, but fortunately the matte lipsticks have that sort of very light scent. So here is the close-up of Send Me Nudes 2, and I'm really glad that so far all of these shades have worked for me. I really wasn't sure which of the nude sets would be better for me because my skin tone's kind of in the middle, but I think all of these so far have been good, and I'm really impressed with how this lip look especially really pushes me a little bit outside of my comfort zone. So that's it for the lip kits. So now let's get into the 2 individual lipsticks that I have. And I think this is a good time to have a little story time as well in terms of how I first got introduced to these formulas. So part of why I wanted to do this video today is I feel like no one is really talking about UOMA Beauty lipsticks. At least I haven't seen that many reviews about this. And so I did not go out and pick out these lipsticks myself. Instead, both of these came in Ipsy glam bags. And so I didn't really know what to think about them. I wasn't like particularly excited to receive them. But once I tried them, I was just so blown away. And it's really this shade in particular, Love, that started my love affair with this formulation. So this is the Black Magic formula. And as you'll see, this is just so beautiful. So let me stop talking and put this on. All right, so that's a very thin layer. You can see, again, if you do a very thin layer, it's sort of very much my lips, but better. But unlike the other Black Magic ones, this has a really beautiful kind of rosy tint to it. It has a little bit of red, a little bit of mauve, a little bit of a lot of different shades in it. It's hard for me to describe, but I feel like this shade is just so perfect. If you want something that's still very everyday friendly, but it's just a little elevated, brings a little bit more life to your face. And now let me just build this up a little bit. And then when you build it up, it just has that additional element of being almost like a red, but much more natural and approachable for an everyday basis. So I love how this really adds some color to the look without detracting from anything else. And so for me, this has been a really great shade that I go for a lot when I'm doing a look that has some rose elements in it or is slightly cool toned, but I'm still kind of doing a natural look. I find it's just a very versatile lip shade that doesn't really put the lips in the background, but also doesn't push them too far into the foreground either. So this is the first lipstick that I got from UOMA Beauty, and it's definitely still my favorite. So the final lipstick I have is in their matte formula. This is Diana, and this is also available in the Kissy Kissy Bang Bang set. So this is deeper than any of the other mattes and has a little bit more of that kind of purpley fuchsia tone to it. Let's get this on the lips. There we go. Wow, look at that. So every time I put this lipstick on, it's always just so stunning to me. Now this is much more of a very eye-catching shade. So if you want to see my first ever impression of this lipstick, I wore it in one of my videos in like December 2021. I forget what the premise of the video was. I think I was just trying on a bunch of new makeup, and the moment I put this lipstick on, I was just so mesmerized. I just couldn't look away from my lips. I was just so impressed with the pigmentation, with the color, which is simultaneously like very vibrant, but also like not too much in your face. And I loved how this formula, even though it's matte, just was so smooth on the lips. Like, I think you can just see how juicy my lips look, even though I just applied a matte lipstick. So that's, to me, very unique. Usually, the moment I put on a matte lipstick, my lips just start looking sort of shriveled and dry, rather than looking very plush. So even though I still like the Black Magic formula a little bit better just because of my personal preferences, if you are someone who really likes a high pigment matte lipstick, I do think this is an amazing formula to try out. So here we have swatches of all of the shades. So that's it for my swatches of my UOMA Beauty lipstick collection. I hope this was helpful for any of you who have been curious about their formula and wanted to see how it might look. In general, I would definitely recommend checking out their lip products, and really everything I've tried from UOMA Beauty has been really great, but these have been definite standout products. Part of why I wanted to film today's video is I've been thinking a lot about my best of 2022 makeup products, and the UOMA Beauty satin and matte lipstick formulas are by far some of my overall favorites, so they are definitely in high contention for best of 2022. I would love to hear in the comments below if you guys have tried this formula, and if so, how did you like it? And do you have a favorite shade? Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!